Hello everyone, today you will hear the top 10 facts about US President Joe Biden. Enjoy watching. Biden was born on November 20, 1942. He is the oldest president in the history of the United States. Biden's parents are from Northern Ireland. Biden will become the second Catholic president in America after John F. Kennedy. The majority of the Christian population in the United States are Protestants. In 1965, he received a degree in history and political science from the University of Delaware. 3 years later, he received a doctorate in law from Syracuse University in New York State. Biden's political career developed quite rapidly. Already in 1972, he was elected to the U.S. Senate. At that time, he was only 29 years old. He became the fifth youngest senator in the history of the country. His opponent in the election was 63-year-old James Boggs, a heavyweight Republican, who was personally persuaded by President Richard Nixon to go to the polls again. Biden, in his campaign, relied on contrasting youth and a fresh look with Boggs' outdated approaches and won. Biden's campaign was led by his sister Valerie. After this success, she became the permanent head of the election headquarters of the politician. 1972 was not only a year of great success for Biden, but also a year of great tragedy. In December, Biden's wife Nelia and their 13-month-old daughter were killed in a car crash. Two sons, the elder Beau and the younger Hunter, were badly injured, but survived. Biden took the senator's oath of office right in the hospital. Biden worked as a senator for 36 years. In the Senate, he headed the Legal Committee and the Committee on International Affairs in different years. In August 1979, at the head of a delegation of congressmen, he visited Moscow. In the capital, he discussed the new provisions of the Treaty on the Limitation of Strategic Arms, OSV-2, with the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the USSR Andrei Gromyko. Now Russia and the United States are discussing the extension of the Strategic Offensive Arms Reduction Treaty, START III, in fact, the successor to the START, which was signed in 2010 by former Presidents Dmitry Medvedev and Barack Obama. The ratification of START III by the United States was supervised by Biden. START III expires in February 2021, and Biden declared his readiness to extend it. Biden was able to reach the presidential election and win it only on the third attempt. The first was in 1988. Biden again used the image of a young politician and his boyfriend. But his rival in the primaries, Michael Dukakis, caught him using the words of the leader of the British Labour Party, Neil Kinnock, in a speech without reference, which is why Biden was accused of plagiarism. Then the journalists found other misappropriated words in his speeches, as well as examples of outright lies. For example, he said that his grandfather was a miner, which was not true. As a result, Biden withdrew from the race before the primaries, and Dukakis lost to George H.W. Bush in the election. Biden was diagnosed with a brain aneurysm in the same year, a lesion of one of the arteries, and the politician underwent several operations. Biden's second attempt was in 2008, but after the first primaries, he refused to compete with Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Biden, after Obama's victory, took the position of vice president at his invitation, and Clinton became Secretary of State. As vice president, Biden was actively engaged in foreign policy. In particular, he opposed the increase of the American contingent in Afghanistan and for the withdrawal of American troops from Iraq. It was Biden who first said that Russia and the United States should press the reset button, such a button with the inscription Perezagruska. By mistake, the Americans wrote on the button not reset, but overload was then brought to Moscow by Hillary Clinton. Biden revised his views on relations with Russia after 2014. When the conflict in eastern Ukraine began, and Crimea was annexed to Russia. Biden is convinced that Russia interfered in the U.S. presidential election in 2016 and continued to interfere in the 2020 campaign, and is also confident that the Russian authorities were involved in the poisoning of opposition leader Alexei Navalny. Biden's vice president is also an African American senator, Kamala Harris. According to the U.S. Constitution, the vice president is the second person in the state who performs the duties of the head of state in the event of the president's incapacity. At the same time, the vice president performs duties until the end of the president's term. Early elections are not held. Biden's eldest son Beau died in 2015 at the age of 46 due to a brain tumor. He worked in the U.S. Department of Justice, was elected Attorney General of Delaware. The youngest son Hunter has been at the epicenter of scandals several times. After graduating from university, he got a job in Delaware at the MBNA Bank Holding Company, which had recently supported Biden's campaign. This caused criticism in American society. Hunter Biden was also fired from the U.S. Navy for drug use, but the main scandal involving him is connected with Ukraine. Biden Jr. was a member of the board of directors of the Ukrainian gas company Burisma, where he received up to $50,000 per month. Hunter's appointment took place exactly at the time when his father, as Vice President of the United States, was actively engaged in Ukraine in light of the conflict in the east of the country and Crimea. In 2020, senators from the Republican Party published a report stating that Hunter Biden received millions of dollars from foreigners, including from the widow of the ex-mayor of Moscow, the richest woman in Russia, Elena Baturina. According to the report, she transferred $3.5 million as part of a consulting agreement with Rosemont Seneca Thornton LLC, co-founded by Hunter Biden. Donald Trump actively exploited the topic of scandals around Hunter Biden during the election campaign. For example, he accused Biden of putting pressure on the Ukrainian authorities to dismiss Prosecutor General Viktor Shokin, who investigated the activities of Burisma. Trump's attempts to get evidence of this from Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky almost resulted in Trump's removal from office. Thank you for the watching. Have a nice day.